What is up, YouTube? Welcome to DevHead LLC. This is gonna be the first video and the first start of the project of making a portfolio website, and we are starting from scratch. All right, so let's just get started. So, originally we're gonna download Git. This is basically a shortcut of coding to control GitHub. Which GitHub is basically how you upload your code and files up to the cloud. So even if you reset your computer, even if you delete the files, it'll be in GitHub, right? And then also to add to that, you could mainly see changes. That's what I'm gonna majorly use it for. But there's so much more uses, and both of them are free. Then we have Node.js. It's like kind of like Git, but for like overall, not just GitHub. Basically, it'll save us a lot of time on making code and stuff like that. All this is free except for this writer. That's the one I'm going to use. If you want to go completely free, I use VS Code or Visual Studio's Code. I just like calling it VS Code, but I'm going to be using JetBrains Writer. This is what I'm majorly going to use as a tool, ChatGPT. Not just for coding, but for overall, so you know, learn how to use it. And if you do use this, make an account so you can see your previous chats and continue from there. Strongly recommend it. Going to be using it a lot in this portfolio website. So with all of that said, let's get started. Okay, so first we're going to open the terminal. Oh, and FYI, I am a Windows 10 computer user. So I do have an iMac. So if you want, comment down below and I'll make some videos with the iMac and show you some of the differences. With that, all right. So how do I navigate the terminal? Basically, if I want to see the items inside of the folder I'm in, so I'm in users and Rathi. Now I list it all out. L stands for list. Just listed all the items, right? Then what if I said I want to go to Festivity Hub? If only I could spell. Now I can list those items and see everything. But then I actually got into the wrong file, so I'm gonna CD out of here. 2 periods, exit the file, and now I'm back here. So now I am going to go navigate to where you want to create your project. I'm going to create right here. So npx create -react -app. And I'm going to name it devhead. No capitals, actually. Devhead LLC. And now I'll start creating that. And because we download Node.js, it'll automatically give us a lot of the files and do a lot of the work for us. Thank you. While that loads, we're going to open GitHub. That's just a work I'm working on. Now I gotta go find that folder I just made. So in here, if you guys want any more details on anything I'm doing, please leave a comment or go to Ask ChatGPT. Well, I'm a creative repository. We're gonna not have none of these because the npx create already does that. npx create -react -app and then space the name of whatever you want to name it. No capitals, no capital letters. So if you want to use multiple words, use dashes or underscores, either one. And now that we publish it, this is how we upload it to the cloud. What I was saying. So no matter, I'll have it. All right. Now check. Now it's all prepared. Now I'm gonna go to Writer. JetBrains Writer, or go to VS Code. And it should be a very similar pattern. Let me get rid of you. I'm going to open it. I'm going to open the new folder now. DevHead LLC, select folder. I don't like using full screen because I like to use Alt-Tab. So I can go between these. And it should be all ready. Yep. And here's all of our files. I say always add automatically. Perfect. I want to make it full screen, but not actually click this button. I do like using Alt-Tab a lot. So like, oh man, I want to go to ChatGPT. Let's close that terminal. Here, it should say this when it's done. Happy hacking. Perfect. All right. Now, let's get coding. I'm going to personally delete it. Oh, do not ever mess with .git. Don't ever mess with .idea. Don't ever mess with mode modules because those things are like automatic. This is basically all for the Node Express. This is for the Git. So it might mess with your GitHub. It might mess up with your entire code. Node modules is stuff that we install. So I'm gonna delete all that I can delete, or what I like to delete. But first, let's actually go see our website so we can see all the changes. npm start. Now we can see what we actually made. Ignore those errors. They're not actual errors. I don't know why it does that. And bam, congratulations, you made your website. Now let's make it actually ours. So first we're going to do our initial deletion. We're going to upload to the public folder. Get rid of favorite icon, logo, manifest, and robots. Actually, no, not the manifest. My bad. Then we're going to delete all of these. Make sure you do not click on the public folder first or source folder first, or else you might delete that. And then if you do delete that, go to your GitHub and find what you've deleted that you want to return. Right click and discard changes. This is why GitHub's super nice. Alright. Oh yeah. Don't worry if it says branch is your main. Mine says master. It basically alternates between them. So it was not a big difference. We're going to get rid of app.css, app.js, app.test.js. We're going to keep index.css. We're going to keep index.js. We're going to get rid of logo. We're going to get rid of report web files. And we're going to get rid of setup tests. We're going to delete all of them. Alright, now it's going to show some errors. So we're going to go to pub index.js. We're going to go here. And we're going to get rid of the report web files because we deleted that file. I just find that kind of a waste of space. You can keep it if you want to. I just personally don't. Then we do need apps. So we're going to go here. Add file. App.jsx. By the way, we are going to be using React. React is the combination of JavaScript and HTML. Sorry. HTML is JavaScript combined into React or .jsx. So that's what we're going to be doing. Alright, I'm only going to do this like a few times, but now we're going to make the app. If you have Writer, you can easily do this, RSC. But for those that don't have Writer, I'm going to do it this way. So we're going to import our CSS. This is how I do usually all test files. We're going to first import the CSS, so index.css, semicolon. And then basically, first I always import the CSS so I never forget. Then we're going to actually make the function. So const app, the name of the file, equals, parentheses, we're basically setting it to nothing, the original value, and we're transforming it, or arrow, to this. Then we're going to do return, parentheses, open, then we're going to make a div. I always like to give it a class name of the container. So app __ container. I always like kind of having a pattern like that, so I can control the whole div, and I already know the class name, so I do that for everything. Then we're going to do h1 app. And then, of course, in order to import it, we have to export it. So export default. Basically, I'm just saying, if we just import the app, it'll automatically just give this function, which is app. All right. And because of the way we did it, it's already here. So perfect. Everything's good. And actually, I'm going to go to my index.html. And I am going to title it with my title. I'm going to call it Dev Head LLC. And that should be good. Let's go see it on the internet. Perfect. Now that since I did that H1, we have the H1 app showing that, yep, your app.jsx is appearing on this file. Perfect. That is what I love to see. I'm going to get rid of the terminal. Oh yeah, VS Code, you'll have like the terminal here. I don't remember where. But let's go to open the terminal, did npm it's start. npm start. Alright. Now we're going to app.jsx. And actually we're going to go to GitHub. And we're going to say initial commit. Because we deleted all the things and we added all the things we wanted to. You can add a description. I usually don't. I just get a good title and I know exactly what it means. Alright, let's get started. So, in my source folder, I'm going. All right. So what am I going to work on first? I'm going to make me personally. I'm going to make the nav bar. Maybe that'd be a good starting area. All right. So let's work on. Let's try to get as far as we can on the nav bar and see how far we can get. All right. So first, I'm going to create a new folder in source. Say components. Just components of part of a website. If I want to break it into it, I usually make components in the folder. And inside of here, I usually make the component nav bar, navigation bar. And I usually add navbar.jsx. I usually do always a capital on the function and JSX files. Everything else is lowercase at the start. And I also do camel case everything. Navbar.css. Actually, I almost forgot one thing. I usually get rid of all of this. And we're going to do initial reset. So, this stands for everything, like all code. So we'll all follow this. And I'm going to do an initial reset or get rid of all initial spacing. So we're going to say margin 0. This is basically like, imagine a box where we're going to call it like a div, right? So there's like 3 types of spaces. Margin, which is all the space outside the box. So like I can make more invisible space between the left and the right of the box, all right? Then we have padding. I'm going to also set this to 0. Some websites do already initial. That's why I'm doing this. Padding is like space between the item inside the box. And like there's invisible space like all around it. Like there's a invisible space in the border of the box. Then we have the border of the box, which I'm going to set to 0. Then we also have line space. Or line dash height. I'm also going to set this to 0. That's basically like the underline or certain lines, like H1s, stuff like that. I'm also going to text list style, none. This is basically for like list when there's bullet points or underlines. I'm getting rid of that. And that's about it. Maybe next, I'll add probably a font later on. I'm going to quickly submit that. Created navbar files and made initial reset. Commit to master, push origin. Let's see if it looks any different. See, for that reason. Now I got rid of all that. Now how it actually look. Alright. Perfect. So let's fix that. Alright. Let's make my navbar. So if you're on Writer, you can do RSC. I'm basically doing the exact same code I did with it. Import navbar up. I'm going to import the CSS file first. I'll just go through it all for all of those that are using constant, navbar, equal, parentheses, arrow, curly brace, open, return, space, parentheses, open, div. I'm going to cursor delete this. It's very cool. This works on all VS Code too. You could do dot navbar __ container. Let's see. I used to be able to. That's weird. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You know. Alright, so then I did the return. I'm gonna give it the class name, quote unquote, navbar __ container. Then we're gonna make an H1 navbar. This is basically how I test everything. I just set it up like this. Now that we know the app's working, I'm gonna get rid of it. And we're gonna do navbar. Make sure to export it for all those that didn't use that. Or RSC. RSC will not work on VS Code. It's only a writer thing. Alright, then you need import. This is the new type of import. This is how we basically take components of something. So we're going to say, first we're going to call it something. So you can give it any name. Then we're going to say from. We'll give it a name. Then we'll say, then I'm going to have to show the path of it. So if I'm in the index.csx, if I'm in the app.jsx, one period will exit out of the file, showing index.css components in index.js. If I did two periods, it exits out of the folder. So it goes from app.jsx to outside of the source folder. So right now we're in the devhead LLC folder. So I'm only going to use one period to exit out of the file. Now I'm going to go to components, because that's what, and then in the navbar, and then navbar.jsx. All right, now it should be there. Perfect. All right, let's add a little bit of margin top there on app.jsx. So we're going to go here. We're just going to say body. Is this what does that? Actually, instead of 0, we're just going to do 1. Perfect. Instead of that. So I'm actually going to set it to 1. Yep. All right. Now that we got all that basics done, sorry, checking the time. Right. Now let's get rid of all these files and let's get started on the navbar. So what I'm gonna do is have like kind of first I'm gonna make a big blue box. I'll cover like left to right on the top. Alright, so let's do that. So first I'm going to give my navbar underscore container open. Then we're gonna give it a width of 100%. There's different type of sizes, so 100% is like 100% of the screen. VW is also the same as the 100%, because VW stands for viewport width. And you can also do viewport height. I always use viewport width for adjusting sizes. So like even if I just close the screen, it'll work. So now I'm gonna give, so I can actually see what the size is like. We're gonna do a background color. So it's gonna we're gonna do blue, not black, blue. Now I can see everything, and now we can see that it stretches from the left to the right, covering the whole area. Now I'm gonna give it a little bit more height. This one I'm not gonna use though. Instead, I'm gonna do like a defined length, which is rem. You can also use inches, centimeters, meters, millimeters. But I always use this, rem. So yeah, of course, that's a little bit big. So we're going to do 5. 4. Yeah, I think that's a good size for a navbar. All right. Now, of course, we're not going to use these colors. Next video, we'll actually add some colors, like unique colors. Color combination. But now we're gonna add. No, we'll change it to aqua. Yeah, all right, that looks better. All right, now let's actually add some stuff. So first, we're gonna add an H1. We're gonna add logo. All right, that'll be there for now. This is where the icon will be. Then we're gonna add a new div dot links. They're gonna do a list or an unordered list. I usually like to use you can use unordered list or ordered list, but div is a container. H1 goes from H1 to H6. Those are different sizes text. An unordered list, it sounds exactly like it is, a bulleted list, but of course I got rid of the bullets here. Now I just gotta say for listed item, I gotta do li. And we're gonna do homepage. We're gonna do the communication or let's just name it communication. I might change that later on. And then let's do settings for now. We'll probably add more pages later on. Now that they're all up and down, let's change that. So we're going to target the navbar underscore container. Perfect. We're going to add on to this. We're going to display flex. Now display flex basically takes all the items and makes them side by side by the thing. So it made this h1 and this div go side by side because this div made everything inside go side by side. Not the whole another list. It just basically does the outer shell. I hope that makes sense. If you want more details, please leave a comment down below. I'll respond to all of them. Or go ask ChatGPT. Please. Alright. Now, I'm going to give this a class name. Saying we're going to do links. Instead, I'm going to change this. No. We're going to do pages. Perfect. Now I'm gonna make the dot link, so I'm targeting the div that's holding the unordered list. We're gonna make that display flex. Of course, that doesn't actually do anything. See, this just made the unordered list go beside nothing. So of course nothing changed. So actually, we're gonna do dot pages. We're gonna target the unordered list class name. We're gonna target it with display flex, and that should basically make everything go side by side. Perfect. Now I'm going to add some space in between these. Alright? So let's do that. Now that I made flex, I can change the direction of that flex. Or actually, with flex, I can use this. Justify. Justify content. There's this. I can go make them go right. Go right. Now I can make them go left. I can make them center. And now, this is basically how I control them vertically. No, horizontally. My bad. This is how I said I can move them horizontally. So now, we're going to make them. I can also do space around. Basically giving some space all around them. I can also do, and what we're going to do, space evenly. But the one I'm going to do is space between. We're going to basically put them on the other opposite sides, the two items, the h1 and the div. Now that we got a basic nav bar, I'm going to make this look better. So let's take font size, 3 random. First I'm going to make them bigger. Actually, for all sizes, including fonts, I always like to use VW. Here, because if I did this, so 3 rem, if I decrease the size of the page, it'll stay that size and it'll basically break everything. But if I use VW or viewport width, then depending on the viewport width, they'll be that much smaller. So yeah. But for now, I'm going to keep using rem. And then, well, I'll probably fix that on later on. Alright, now let's add a little bit of room. So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna use justify content again, and we're gonna do space around. Not space around, space evenly. And then we're gonna make the width. We're gonna add a little bit of width to it so that justify content can work. Because that's all justify content. It basically spaces in between within its width. So we're gonna do 100%, see what that does. That didn't do anything. So we're gonna make it a 20 rem. Oh, it's moving the div over here. Okay, I see what's going on. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna target the list items themselves. So we're gonna go into the pages and li. This basically says I'm gonna target all the list items under dot pages or under that unordered list specifically. Now we're gonna do margin. So I'm gonna add a little space in between the left and the right. I'm gonna do 0. Okay, so 1 does up, down, left, right, and up. Alright? So if I say 0 rem, it wouldn't do anything. Now if I did this, so 0 to 10 rem, the first number controls the height, the up and down. The second number controls how much is to the left and to the right. Now if we did this, the first number is the bottom, the second button is the left, third number is the top, and the fourth number is the right. But I just want to do the left and the right, so I'm going to do 0 and 10 rem. Perfect. Let's decrease that to like 5, 3. Alright. See, I don't like that everything's kind of against the wall, so I'm going to actually go into the navbar, go back to the navbar container, and we're going to add a little bit of padding, like 1 rem. Perfect. Now everything's off. And actually, how we align things vertically is this. Align items center. Now that I align everything vertically perfect, now we have a basic navbar done. And I think I'm going to call it good here. Starting the website and it making our basic navbar. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next video.